summer to winter, this drastic change. Life in summer and life in winter. September is suddenly upon us, and then we have to start preparing for life at school.
Yes. Some children are excited, but I would say
Many are not, no?
most of the
Many are
children.
not. Many are
The
not.
summer is very different to the winter routine. Usually children are much more relaxed. They have more time for themselves.
To sleep in.
Yes.
To do their things they love doing.
Sometimes they sleep until 10, you
Yes.
know. And
Maybe later. Maybe
by,
later.
by 10 they would be having their break when they're at school.
Exactly.
So obviously the routine is very different from summer to winter, and I think it's very important to help the children prepare for that change, to go back to the routine how it was before summer.
It's not easy going back to routine for adults, let alone children.
Yes.
So
that's why it's
we need
important,
preparation.
yes, for parents to help them prepare. So you know how summer is, the days are longer, more activities.
we go out more.
Yes.
We do things which are more relaxing, so we get into that relaxing mode.
Yes.
So getting back to routine is not always easy.
And preparing for doing hard work, because at the end of the day, school is hard work.
Long days.
Yes.
1, 2, 3. So they need to prepare for that too.
They have to go to school, you know, concentrate at school, go back home, do their homework, maybe have different activities
yes,
after
yes,
school.
yes.
So it gets hectic once again.
There has to be a schedule.
Yes.
And summer, everything is out of the window. But then in winter, everything goes back to routine. And we need to plan for that well.
However, I think having a routine is very important. It might seem structured, you know, and always the same thing, so it's repetitive.
But it's the first few days which are difficult until you get used to it again. And that is why we need to plan slowly, because doing everything suddenly is no good, because we won't fit in well with the new structure, because if you're used to 3 months of doing much less,
Yes.
planning a little bit earlier would
So
help.
I think it's important for parents, when they are preparing their children to go back to school, that they don't start preparing 2 days before. So at least a week before.
Yes.
You know, so
Maybe even more some things related to school, like stationery, books, those need
Yes.
to be prepared beforehand.
Those
so
things,
if anything which is not available, we start even getting into that mindset of getting back to school.
so then there isn't that much of a rush, you know,
Yes,
and school is
yes,
starting and
yes.
there's still a lot of things
Yes.
missing. I was thinking in terms of the sleeping routines,
Yes, that's
because
so
that is
important.
very important. So in summer they might be used to sleeping late, 10, 11, or adolescents might be sleeping even later. So if they're not getting enough sleep, it will be very difficult for them to wake up in the morning. Some children need to wake up really early
Yes.
to take the bus to
Transport,
school.
for
No, so
transport.
if they're waking up at 6 in the morning, they cannot be sleeping at midnight, because they're not getting enough sleep. So children will need at least 8 to 10 hours of sleep.
That is very important, because if it's a long and hectic day for them, they need to have the energy, and sleep is the most important part of the day, because if you don't sleep well, you don't have the energy for the rest of the day. And especially if when they're children, they're still developing, they need their sleep. They need their sleep.
And I was also thinking in terms of having time in the morning where things are not very rushed.
Yes, preparing
So-
things calmly.
Yes. So, for example, they need to be out by 6:30, and starting preparing
wake up earlier.
15 minutes before will not help. So
Yes.
it's important to leave time for breakfast, because as we know, breakfast is probably the most important meal
is,
of the
it
day. So if children are going to school, they haven't eaten anything, that won't help them, because they need to concentrate. And having breakfast will help them to be more concentrated. So I think having that part of the routine in the morning, where they have enough time to have breakfast and to prepare calmly. Because if you see families in the morning,
Everyone's in a rush.
Everyone is rushing,
Everybody's in a rush.
and then some children might not want to dress up, for example, so it will take longer to help them, prepare their things and to be settled. So I think in preparing beforehand, for example, the school bag, mostly
The night
adolescents,
before, ideally, not
Yes.
that thing in the morning.
Exactly. So if they're preparing their things, they can prepare it the night before. So then in the morning they have less things to do. So I think preparing the school bag is very important the day before. as we're saying, leaving time for breakfast, that's very important, because they might not be used to doing it in summer because their routine is completely different.
Completely.
So in preparing the uniform as well, so in having everything
In order.
In order.
Everything in order. These are the practical things they need to think about. And I also think they need to start thinking about the mindset of going back to school, because
well.
it's not just the practical things, which are very important, but looking forward to school. Although, as we said, some children do look forward to school because it's nice to see your friends again, to meet your teachers again. But we need to prepare for that mentally, because our life in summer changes so drastically that when finally we've settled in this new summer routine, let's call it that way, then we have to go back to the winter one. And preparing our children for school in a positive manner, not thinking about school like, oh no, you're going back to school, but oh yes, we're going back to school, and there are so many things to be excited about. Maybe some new things we're going to do in school this year, maybe some new friends we're going to make, some new teachers we're going to meet, and that positive mindset, I think, helps the child think more positively about it.
Yes. And also for parents, in being aware that the first few days might be difficult for their children.
Yes.
They're settling back to school, getting settled to a routine, and maybe they're not with their friends anymore in class.
Yes,
so
yes.
they might feel upset.
Yes.
Maybe they still need to get used to their new teacher. So they might be feeling a bit upset the first few days, or they might be
And I think
sad
that's
as
normal.
well.
It's
Yes.
normal. I think everybody would like the first days to be perfect, and this move into this new routine to be very smooth, but it's never very smooth. And I think that's normal when I have to accept that,
Yes.
because this change needs some time and settling down, as you said.
And then reassuring the child that it's going to be okay.
okay,
So, for
exactly.
example, they're upset that they are not in class with their friends. Children usually are very anxious about that. Who will I have in my class? Will my friends be in the same class?
Maybe the teacher,
Yes.
is it the new teacher? I don't know what to expect. Are they going to be nice? Are they going to be helpful? Are they going to be supportive?
So, for parents, in being aware of that, and then helping their child, and then supporting them.
Yes, with a positive attitude. I
Yes.
think the positive attitude will make the whole difference, because children feel when their support system is not being so happy about certain things, when they're apprehensive about certain things.
Yes.
I think we don't need to transmit that to children. We need to transmit the positivity, because school, it can be very interesting. School is interesting, but school can be fun. School, it's important for children to come to school happy and do things which make them happy, because learning is fun.
It is. So I think that's the message that needs to get across.
I hope everybody thinks about how this new school year is going to be a positive one. We have to have this positive thinking. It's going to be a positive one. And if maybe, hopefully nothing happens, but if there is support which is needed, there is a lot of help out there, and I guess there will be people who can help.
Yes.
For sure.
So it's an exciting time.
Yes, very
Because
exciting.
something new is going to happen, and if we focus on that, I think children will have a smooth transition
Hopefully,
in going back to school.
I am very positive about that.
Yes.